Good day once again, senior high school students. Today we will be discussing about lesson number 4 entitled Becoming a Member of Society. For our objectives, at the end of the lesson, you will be able to determine the development of oneself and other as a product of socialization and enculturation. Discuss the context, content, process, and consequences of enculturation and socialization, and enumerate the social goals and the socially acceptable means of achieving those goals. Advocate inclusive citizenship and promote protection of human rights and dignity and the common good. And for our guide questions, how does socialization help in development of individuals to become a productive member of society? Why is conformity important in society? Alright, you may now take your seat. Let us start with the definition of community in comparison with society. When we say community, it refers to a group of people who live in a definite locality, but society refers to a system of social relationships, because there exists more than one community within a society. Hence, community is smaller than society. Society is based on both similarities as well as differences. Please take a closer look at every photo that we have. As an agricultural country, those images of our farmers and fishermen can be found mostly in the highlighted examples of places on the maps. Let us proceed. When we say society, it refers to a group of people sharing a common culture within a defined territorial boundaries, according to Police Peace, while social relating to society or its organization, an informal social gathering, especially one organized by the members of a particular club or group. Socialization. It is a continuing process whereby an individual acquires a personal identity and learns the norms, values, behavior, and social skills appropriate to his and her social position. Try to look on how do we socialize nowadays. There are so-called agents of socialization. These are the family, our peer group, school, the church, mass media, and work. Socialization is categorized into two, namely objective socialization and subjective socialization. When we say objective socialization, it refers to the society acting upon the child, while subjective socialization, it is the process by which society transmits its culture from one generation to the next and adapts the individual to the accepted and approved ways of organized social life. Are you familiar with the picture? If you are fond of reading or watching ancient stories, you will know what it is all about. Try to imagine you are the one who is in the middle. And who do you think the people around you? What they do into your life? How about these two images? One is an image of your father and the other one is of your mother. Your father is at work, but when he got home, he is acting as a father. And when your mother is at her work, and also when he got home as a mother. And as an individual member of society, each and one of us can be or have been performing what are on the picture, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, son and daughter, or a sibling. Those are examples of our social roles in the society which are identified into the following. Personality and role development. It is through the process of socialization that we develop our sense of identity and belongingness. Skills development and training. The much needed social skills such as communication, interpersonal, and occupational are developed. Values formation. Individuals are influenced or engulfed by the prevailing values of social groups and society. Social integration and adjustment. The socialization process allows us to fit in an organized way of life by being accustomed, including cultural setting, and social control and stability. Integration to society binds individuals to the control mechanisms set forth by the society norms with regard to acceptable social relationships and social behavior. And we have the so-called social norms. When we say social norms, it is the rules that a group uses for appropriate and inappropriate values, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. Social norms are the rules of how people should act in a given group or society. Any behavior that is outside these norms is considered violation of norms. Social norms consist of rules of conduct and models of behavior prescribed by society. They are rooted in the customs, traditions, and value systems that gradually develop in this society. Social norms or mores are the unwritten rules of behavior that are considered acceptable in a group or society. Norms function to provide order and predictability in society. Social norms may also change or be modified over time. For example, boys don't cry. So when we see a boy who is crying, and immediately somebody utterly will say that kalalaki mong tao, iniiyak ka. Another example of social norm is by our little brothers and sisters, or even us when we were in our level in elementary. Raising hands to answer our teachers, class activities and discussions, just like playing, expecting a star, one he or she recognized for our active participation. That when we get older, we seldom enjoy already our studies. And a good sign of being a good athlete is sportsmanship, which we often see in any playing arena. And of course, greetings like pagmamano, shaking hands, bowing our heads, and saying thank yous. There are three types of social norms. We have the folkway, more, and low. When we say folkway, it is the norm that stems from and organizes casual interactions, while more, it is that structures the difference between right and wrong, while law is the norm that is formally inscribed at the state or federal level. Now let's talk about social status. When we say social status, it refers to the relative rank or standing that an individual has in the eyes of others. It is shaped by one's background, education, reputation, perceived power, and position in an organization's hierarchy. As you have seen in our previous images in the form of a pyramid, it describes the example of statuses in the society, because social statuses refer to the position an individual occupies in society and implies an array of rights and duties. That while social role is the pattern of expected behavior in a social relationship with one or more persons occupying other statuses. And for statuses, there are so-called ascribe and achieve. These are called the classification of social statuses. Ascribed statuses is assigned to the individual from birth, involves little personal choice like age and sex. It carries with it certain expectations and behavior, while achieved status, it is acquired by choice, merit, or individual effort. It is made possible through special abilities of talents, performance, or opportunities. Choice in occupation, marriage, joining a religious organization are examples. Alright, Now let's shift to another picture. What can you notice? How about in this picture? And how about here? This time we will talk about conformity and deviance. When we say conformity, it is the action in accord with prevailing social standards, attitudes, practices, and others. Correspondence in form, nature, and character, agreement, congruity or accordance, compliance or acquiescence, and obedience. But be careful, being in conform is not always in morality. When we say conformity, it is doing what everybody else is doing, regardless of what is right. While morality, it is doing what is right, regardless of what everybody else is doing. Conformity is to be or become similar in behavior, form, nature, or character. It is the act of changing oneself to fit agreed upon social expectations, established customs, and ideals to avoid standing out. While non-conformity, it is the failure or refusal to conform with established customs, attitudes, ideas, or values. Someone who does not to conform may be an independent thinker. Example, a rebel, different of the beaten path. Alright, let's talk about the deviance. One of the theory in deviance is that it is when you are alone and different color among those green apples. When you are thinking of opposite when it is not supposed to be. And breaking morality, values, and law. Deviance is deviating or departing from the norm, characterized by deviation, deviant social behavior. But don't you know that despite being deviant to norms, some scholars found its significance and positive effects. According to Ronald W. Smith and Frederick W. Preston, it serves as an outlet for diverse forms of expression. It serves to define the limits of acceptable behavior. It may also promote in-group solidarity. It can also serve as a barometer of social strain. Like for example, in this theory, functionalist theory, according to Emil Durkheim, affirms cultural values and norms. Responding to deviance clarifies moral boundary. Responding to deviance promotes social unity, encourages social change. Another theory is the strain theory, on cultural goals to be rejected or accepted, and on new goals and new means. Let's try to understand the terminologies. On conformity, it involves accepting both the cultural goal of success and the use of legitimate means for achieving that goal. Innovation involves accepting the goal of success but rejecting the use of socially accepted means of achieving it, turning instead to unconventional, illegitimate means. Ritualism. This occurs when people de-emphasize or reject the importance of success once they realize they will never achieve it and instead concentrate on following or enforcing less rules than ever was intended. Retretion. This means withdrawal from society, caring neither about success nor about working. And rebellion. This occurs when people reject and attempt to change both the goal and the means approved by society. And the third theory is the control theory according to Travis Hursty. Assume that the family, school, and other social institutions can greatly contribute to social order by controlling deviant tendencies in very individuals. But how can we control deviance? There are types of sanctions, informal and formal. When we say informal or unofficial, the positive informal sanctions involve reward for conformity or compliance, example to smiles, kisses. Negative sanctions involves penalties for not conforming, while informal or the official sanctions, institutional incentives to conform, and penalties for deviance. Like criminal justice system is the visible institution of social control to arrest, trial, and sentencing or imprisonment. Now, lastly, let's talk about human rights and dignity. Let me quote former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. He said, "We may have different religions, different languages, different colored skin, but we all belong to one human race." There are different kinds of rights: natural rights, constitutional rights, statutory rights, civil rights, and political rights. Natural rights, it is the rights to live, love, and to be happy. Constitutional rights, the unreasonable searches and seizures as stated in the Bill of Rights. Statutory rights, provided by lawmaking body, like by the Congress. Civil rights, rights enjoyed by individuals in a state or community, such as freedom of speech and right to information. And political rights, right to vote and right to be voted into public office. And there is the so-called divine rights, the right of a sovereign to rule as set forth by the theory of government that holds that a monarch receives the right to rule directly from God and not from the people, like in the story of Israel. Human rights are natural rights of all human beings, whatever their nationality, religion, ethnicity, sex, language, and color. And how about human dignity? It is the most important human right, from which all other fundamental rights derive. Dignity is the right of a person to be valued and respected for their own sake and to be treated ethically. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, everyone.